After weeks of protests against illegal immigrants in the UK, Keir Starmer looks to have finally started listening to his people and is pledging to stop the flow of illegals into the country. He accompanied the video with a comment saying, "I said that if you enter this country on a small boat, you will face detention and return. I mean it." The hard stance by Starmer came after repeated protests outside migrant hotels in the UK following the arrest of a resident of the hotel.
Protesters have marched on a suspected migrant hotel in Essex after an asylum seeker was charged with sexual assault. Now, just look at the protesters. Protesters were heard chanting, "Save our kids," and some were holding up other signs. Let's just take a look.
Save our kids! Save our kids! Save our kids! Save our kids!
Very powerful message. Very powerful message.
Hilary, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, I think what was very important to focus on here is these are women. They're holding signs that are definitely look very homemade. All the signs that everybody was holding were completely different. It wasn't like one of these organized kind of protests where some kind of company recruited people. So these are mothers that are concerned about their daughters. They're regular people. So I think it is so wrong to paint and portray regular tax-paying good citizens, these mothers, as far right-wing. No, they are concerned about their daughters. They're concerned about their community. And the fact that, and I'm going to be in the UK as of next week, and when I arrive at customs, if I was to say, "Excuse me, where's my free five-star hotel, please?" I'd be laughed at, or maybe I'll be jailed, so I won't try that joke. But really, Gabriella, this is the sense in the UK. This isn't right. This isn't fair to be spending taxpayers' pounds on migrants, providing free housing, free food for them, giving them iPhones and giving them games and pleasurable activities while they're committing atrocious crimes. And what happened in Epping was there was you have to say alleged assault of a young, I believe, 14-year-old girl. These communities don't want that sort of crime.
And perhaps what pushed Starmer over the edge and forced him to rethink his response to illegals was his meeting with Donald Trump in Scotland. Trump gave a stark warning about the future of the UK and Europe under the current immigration policies.
I like your Prime Minister. He's slightly more liberal than I am, as you've probably heard, but he's a good man. He got a trade deal done. On immigration, you better get your act together, or you're not going to have Europe anymore. Immigration is killing Europe. And the other thing, stop the windmills, killing the beauty of your country.
And when Starmer was asked about Trump's successful record on illegal immigration compared to his own, Starmer stuttered and stammered in a very awkward manner.
The president makes it look easy dealing with illegal migration. You must be envious of his record in such a short period of time.
Well, I think we've been discussing illegal migration is a huge issue in both of our countries. In the United Kingdom, it is a real cause for concern, and that's why we must bear down on it.
When Starmer stammered about irregular illegal migration as opposed to regular illegal migration, well, it was clear his brain was going into full malfunction. I think it's called stumbling to find the right lie. Have a look at Starmer's face when Trump explains how a good government cuts taxes, provides cheap, reliable energy, and has a sensible immigration policy.
But generally speaking, the one who cuts taxes the most, the one who gives you the lowest energy prices and the best kind of energy, the one that keeps you out of wars, he's kept you out of wars, but the one that keeps you out of wars, you have a few basics and you can go back 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, whoever does these things, but low taxes, keep us safe, keep us out of wars, no crime, stop the crime, and in your case, a big immigration component, because I know that your attitude has become strong on immigration.
And so it seems like Starmer has finally decided to talk tough, but commentator Esther Kraku isn't holding her breath.
It's just extraordinary to me, Esther. I mean, if Britons had been told, look, the price of accepting more and more illegal immigrants, what is it now, 25,000 this year alone so far, is that Britons lose their free speech. What do you think Britons would say to that potential deal if they'd been asked?
It would feel like a dystopian novel. I mean, Keir Starmer's whole election pledge from last summer when he won election was he's going to smash the gangs. So far, the gangs seem to be doing better than ever. I don't know if he was being cheeky when he meant smash the gangs. He meant something a bit more inappropriate because so far as I'm concerned, the gangs seem to be his best friend because they're the only people that seem to be benefiting. I mean, the average revenue for many of these people smuggling gangs is estimated to be over £1 million a month. So they don't seem to be doing too badly for themselves, and the crisis seems to be worsening, and people are being basically bullied to be silent because we're now seeing police, instead of solving crimes like burglaries, are turning up at people's houses to ask them why they tweeted things. I mean, in the most extreme case of Lucy Connolly, she's serving 31 months for a tweet she deleted about half an hour later. So it really is a dystopian nightmare come to life.
Look, the whole thing is really weird, Esther, and it seems to me that it would have been easier had the government simply stopped the illegal immigrants coming into Britain in the first place. I mean, how hard is it? You've got a giant moat. I thought that could be of some use to the country, but there you go.
And illegal immigration is only one of several issues Keir Starmer is contending with at the moment, with many in his country slamming him for going against Donald Trump and recognising the Palestinian state.
And you know what I found extraordinary, Darren, when Keir Starmer made his announcement that he would, he threatened to recognise a Palestinian state later this year. He said, well, it's about working towards a two-state solution. Well, Hamas doesn't want a two-state solution. And this is what I think the world leaders don't understand when they're making these pledges, Darren, is that Hamas doesn't want peace.
Absolutely right. Standing up at the United Nations, making yourself look nice around the dining tables of all these globalist leaders, whilst waffling on, as you say, about a two-state solution. It's just him grovelling to Hamas and, frankly, I'll be honest here, to pro-Hamas sympathising MPs within his own party, while actually betraying one of our closest allies. It's both illegal, it's both immoral, and if this is Starmer's foreign policy, summing itself up, really, then we need to actually bin this government. We need to stand with democracies, not terrorists. And actually, I think the fact that we're having to say that, Danica, tells you everything we need to know about the state of the United Kingdom today.
And outspoken commentator Douglas Murray doubled down on this, blasting the PM for his rigid stance on freedom of speech, which makes it difficult for people to speak out against immigration and censorship.
Joining me now is the author of groundbreaking works, international bestsellers, including The Strange Death of Europe, The Madness of Crowds, The War on the West, and his latest on democracies and death cults. Douglas, let's start with the state of free speech in the UK. Keir Starmer again assured the world that the UK values free speech.
Can you discuss the importance of free speech today?
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that.
But tell me about the UK's Online Safety Act. We've got something similar happening right here in Australia. We're told, like in the UK, it's all about keeping children safe. Is that how you see it?
By the way, that answer that Keir Starmer gave there, I mean, it's just yet more robotic Starmer. That's exactly what he said the other week in the Oval Office when reporters also asked about the free speech problem in the UK. And he said in that same robotic way, we've had free speech for a very long time in the UK. Yeah, well, it can be dying on his watch. Just because you've had something for decades, indeed centuries, doesn't mean that it survives as a force of nature unless it's protected and defended in this generation. And Keir Starmer's government has decided that a priority in almost any real life situation is not to deal with the real life problems that occur, but instead to crack down on online content and much more. This has got to such a pass that now the Starmer government and Starmer himself pretend that all these online harm stuff merely has to do with issues of child pornography and so on, and that anyone who's who's pushing back against the online harms bill must be therefore on the side of child pornography. No, that sort of filth is already illegal. You already go to prison for that stuff. It is such a weak and pathetic attempt to defend something that is essentially indefensible, which is citizens who have said nothing illegal being visited at their homes by the police for tweets and Instagram posts and Facebook posts and so on. It's a lamentable affair. And as I've said to you before, Rita, as we've discussed on this show, the very striking thing is that all the time, the government in the UK, as in so many other countries, Australia in particular, decide that if you've got a real life problem, instead of solving it, you should go to the secondary thing of how people are reacting to it online. It's so not fit for purpose.